Welcome to Brighton New Corner Ministry. My name is Cindy Ann Lewis Walcott, and we are studying life lessons from the Holy Bible. These lessons are for holistic living. You don't have to be religious. Today's lesson I call Acknowledging, a lesson in acknowledging God. Now we're still with Jacob and Esau's story, and now we're with Jacob. So this lesson would be found in Genesis chapter 28, verses 10 to 22. So the rest of chapter 28. Now Jacob, as we studied before, was admonished by his dad to go back to his mother's land to find a wife, and he's on his way there. He's going through a place. He comes to it's night, and now he needs to sleep. He has nothing, but he found some stones and made himself a pillow. And while sleeping, he had a dream of angels, a ladder, and angels coming up and down. It's a long, long story, so I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to summarize. And God stands over him and makes him a promise there. Now, when he wakes up, he's afraid, and he said, "Surely, God's in this place." And he took the stone and made a pillar. A pillar. He planted the stone there as a pillar, so as a mark to acknowledge that this place is God's, and he'll surely build a house of God there. Sometimes in our lives, as we go along, we go through stress and struggles. We do the wrong things, and we sort of try to move more away from God, knowing that we did something wrong. The right thing to do is when you acknowledge that when you've known that you've done something wrong, go to God and ask for forgiveness. And start looking at the things in your life that shows that God's presence is still there. There in church and stuff, people come up and testify, but about the good things that's happened to them, which is great. It's like making a mark. You acknowledging God in presence in your life, in the activities you do, in the favors you got, and so on. And a lot of times we go through, something remarkable happened to us, and we give no credit to God. We don't use that as a pillar to say, good things are happening. God is here with me in my life. Even if we had a day with 100 things going wrong and one thing going right, we still have to acknowledge God's presence in our life, and this gift is given to us. I had a friend who told me, and we're sort of we tend to be so wrapped up in our problems and stuff that sometimes we can't see that good thing. We can't see the presence of God in us, as Jacob saw here, slipping on stones. That's hard. And still on stones, and he had this really good dream. A friend told me about a trip they took to Europe, and they paid minimum amount of money for this trip with a club. And when they got to Europe, they didn't stay in a posh hotel that they thought they would have. They weren't promised that. They just thought they would be in a posh hotel. Actually, they were in France, so they expected all the things that come with being in Paris. Anyways, what they was a regular hotel, regular kind of meals, but they went to Lords. They went to all the sightseeing places. This person rented a vehicle, took them to Sweden, or Switzerland, Luxembourg. In 10 days, they did as much of Europe as it would have taken them 20 trips to do. But all people were complaining about was the hotel they stayed in. And sometimes she was saying this to me to say that sometimes we're so filled with negativity and blame that we don't see the benefits. We don't see the good things that happen. So I think this lesson is here for us. I really didn't see it as a lesson originally until I talked to somebody. It's a lesson here for us to see, to acknowledge. You stop today and think, how did I get here? Despite I may have had a really bad weekend, I'm here this morning and God's still with me. I have energy and strength that I can do something else. Even if you don't have the energy and strength, you're still here, and there is a possibility that things would get better if you allow God to come in and work in his plan in your life. You just have to acknowledge God. That's the bottom line. That's the lesson for today. The lesson for today is found in Genesis chapter 28, verses 10 to 22. Acknowledge God in your life. Acknowledge the good things in your life. Testify in church if you have to. Testify to your neighbors if you have to. Testify to yourself. Go in front of the mirror and say, thank God for what's happening to me. Um, Acknowledge that something good has happened to you, and acknowledge the presence of God in it. I hope you did find this lesson educational. Please remember to like, give me a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And when you get the video, please hit the link and not the picture of the video. Have a good day now. Bye-bye.